Welcome to American Idol. We are live. I mean, I have a laptop, but there's nothing to write home about. I mean, I also don't know how to do any of the streaming stuff besides press button on PlayStation. PlayStation does work. Profit, I think, is next. Still waiting on that port, though. Alright, I think there's like a couple second delay here, but it shouldn't be too crazy. I don't remember. Oh yeah, I do remember. Yeah, okay. We're running kind of like the 3-man dive team, but then we have. We have you on here. Okay. Ooh, that's way too fast. All right. So, playing patient. Playing patient. Yeah, there's not much for you to do here until we force something. But you have a tracer on you. And you die. I mean, hold on, let me pause. Where's Matt? Okay. All the way over there. Yeah. Okay. Like, if you mute me in Discord, you mean? I don't know. Yes, I can hear you. Ooh. My slippers stink. Ooh. You ready? Okay. Yeah, so really, I mean, the only thing here is be a little bit more deliberate with your positioning, because we're waiting on we're kind of waiting on the payload to progress a little bit, or them to jump in. So I don't mind the staying back. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would say if we're gonna hang back, you got no. I would say like over here, or over here, depending on what we're seeing, and we should be scouting, obviously as well. We gotta make sure that we're given, and you in particular, because you don't have LOS on anything. If you can swing out, into the mega little doorway right here. So we're just, yeah. I mean, that's about the only thing. And without comms, I don't know if we called. Oh, hold on, let me phrase this. Obviously, if you know where the tracer is and you sleep her, then that's a little bit different, but that's not, hit a sleep dart isn't really helpful. So I don't think we called out that you were getting dough from what I remember. But I was having lagging issues, so I wasn't really here. But unless we're gonna call out for help, it's about the only thing that we realistically can do for you. But if you're in position a little bit more into that mega, then maybe you can go ahead and grab that. But
I still have some fighting.
all right, so we're walking out. All right, so at this point, though, we definitely know that they are on dive, so we should be expecting that. Those are good shots to keep him up. Ooh, careful with the widow. We should be calling that out, so we're not very good. Yeah, yeah, a bit tricky. I would say probably don't want you to drop right there. You definitely could have got, you definitely could have got heals on Rob by staying up top. Unless, like, if the monkey has jump, and he jumps you, but then you have, like, the thing is, you want the choice to drop down. Like, you don't have a choice to go back up, onto there. But then when you do get pushed down here, go ahead and just, like, go grab that mega. you definitely had enough time. You know, at that point, Rob was already dead. You're not going to kill the monkey, so just back up and fully back up and grab the mega. And actually, who woke up the monkey? Because you gotta sleep on him. Oh, no, okay, no, you did, I'm sorry. Imagine things. But yeah, here, yeah, just go grab that mega behind you. And remember, you know, I feel like most people kind of forget it, but you go faster if you're going forward, so, because you're realistically not going to kill the monkey, so you need to just stall until you can get your sleep dart. Our people can come and help you, so let's turn around and grab that mega if we can. But here, we should be, yep, looking to come up top. Really, your biggest question is here, do you want to, oh, pause real quick, yeah. Do you want to go up top on the boxes, or do you want to stay a little bit lower? Yeah. That was an interesting sleep attempt. And with what? Yeah, it's you know, you're gonna always have that. I'll pause real quick. You're gonna have that balance of, do I try and wait for that perfect one, or do I just kind of get that reactionary? And I know there used to be, so I'm assuming that there still is, but there used to be like sleep dart training little courses in custom games that you could do. So I don't know if you've ever tried one of those, but those were helpful for me. Well, hold on, let me phrase that. They could have been helpful for me. I didn't really use them all that much, but they were fun. And if you're playing on it, they are helpful. But yeah, obviously, if you get to sleep there, then you're probably up a little bit. But we have to keep in mind with the comp that we have versus what they have, we're kind of willing to trade support lines, which are, no, I shouldn't say really support. I should say just back lines, because we have our Lucio's looking to go in. So we're kind of okay trading if we have to. So it's kind of like if we can get a sleep dart on it, it's just kind of gravy to help keep you alive. So with where we're at with, and this is a little bit more team related, but if we're at 90 to like nano in particular, because it's relatively easy to get it, I'd like us to just kind of call it out that we're 10 away, and Matt can just get a little bit extra poke damage on him, so we can get nano instead of like instead of like kind of engaging and then getting nano as we're going in. Just go ahead and get it real quick, and you can just let everybody know, like, hey, let's build up nano. I'm 10 away, and really, I don't want anybody. Really, I want Matt poking because he's a tank, and if he takes a little bit too much damage, he'll be okay. But really, anybody can poke to get the damage on. So. Yeah. I'd like. That's not really on you. I'd like to. If we're all stacked up there, though, I'd like to get a little bit more on to Rob there, so he doesn't die. So right there, we should definitely be, like, as that fight was kind of evolving, and you saw that monkey kind of jumped in, and obviously he was going to jump up to you next. So Matt starts backing down underneath. Ideally, I'd like him to just realize he needs to back up towards you, but you can always just direct him. It's kind of like a back to front thing, where like the people furthest in the back usually supports. They have a pretty good view of everything, and so they can kind of direct a little bit easier. And in particular, if you're like on Ana, who's kind of a really good solo healer, we'll just go in that direction. Direct him, saying like, I need you to come up top or left or right, up, down, literally whatever direction it is. And then that way, I don't know if you get out. If you hit the sleep dart and he's with you, and you don't wake up the monkey, you probably get out. But again, just saying, hey, hit the sleep dart, that's not really helpful. And kind of going back to that nano idea too, if we have that nano, when they jump on Rob, we can, we can nano someone to go in further if we want to. We can nano Rob if we want to. It's all about having those choices. I don't know, and this is not on you because you just spawned in, but if you see or hear that the team is kind of like starting to push into things, just make sure that you are reminding everybody that you are not there, because we are going in a 5v4, and the nano is one of the best tools for us to, for this next fight. But if you're not there, then you're not there. Yeah, and so it kind of, you're in a little bit of a weird spot because you were so late coming in. You really had no choice with this Genji, because by the time they jumped, by the time our team jumped in, and then I rewound here, that's why you're back here. So by the time they jumped in, and we got jumped on, we just have this Genji here. Maybe if you wanted to try and be sneaky, you could, go kind of down the stairs and look for a nano from like this angle. But it's putting you in a rough spot after this nano step, so it's a little bit kind of like not the greatest, but your options aren't great anyway. Maybe if like we waited to go in, we could have got you up here or up here. Honestly, either one's actually fine. They both have their pluses and minuses. But we could have got you up here, and then even if they do dive you, we're in a better spot where you can nano as the fight is actually progressing, versus this point where you're stuck and, alright, do I try and poke out this Genji to win the 1v1? Do I rotate like down those stairs and hope they don't look at me? Or do I rotate to the right and that same thing, hopefully they don't look at me? Which neither is really great. You could have looked for a sleep on the Genji while he wasn't paying attention to you. That might have been a possibility. And in that nano, just because you were still coming in, you had to just throw the nano out, which doesn't usually work out anyway. I like to swap here, obviously, to the Kiriko. Let's get to TPN. Hold on one second. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Okay. So we're on the carry, so we can TP in. I like it. Okay, so we're healing up. We're breaking the bubble. We're staying alive. All right. I'm gonna honestly, that's a good TP. That's good tracking by their monkey, but that was a good like TP where you waited on him to engage essentially twice, right? Because he went in and then he used his ult to get in. So unless you and Brandon can communicate, where like he flies up somewhere and gets you to the high ground, I don't think you don't have time to wall climb to the high ground there and keep things going. So if you can communicate that with everything being last second, it's a bit, it's a bit tricky. But yeah, because you don't. I think if you go for the wall climb there, it's just too obvious and you get dove on anyway. So honestly, not too bad. If we hit a couple more sleep darts, then that definitely changes kind of the way that a lot of that flows. But For the most part, nothing too crazy. And of course, obviously, only getting the first point in isn't anything that, you know, doesn't give us a whole lot to work around. So, alright, so we're on Kiriko on defense, though. Did you still want to go through it, even though you're not on Ana? Okay. Just be really, really careful right here. Yeah, I know we're playing an aggressive sort of dive here. That first poke is just always makes me a little nervous, but I guess not too many people roll out, you know, like King's Row with the Widow automatically sort of deal. But we hear that they have a Widow. Yeah, that was weird. Yeah, to be honest, there's not much you can do because Angels dove the Widow, and then everybody else went to the right. And that kind of just leaves you in a spot of nowhere to go, really. I guess you can go with... honestly, I guess I would have stayed with Angels. I like staying here, though. I would have liked you to heal a little bit more right there, but... Well, no, the Sus or the... How did that? That had to miss by like a single frame or something.
That must sting.
Huh. That really, I don't know. That would have had to been the closest Suzu. Anyway, sorry. That's really just a little bit of an anticipation thing where, you know, we should see that Matt and kind of anticipate that he's swinging down. And actually, yeah, I was completely forgot that he was anti right there. So, I mean, you might as well just shoot at some things. But it's a lot of the small things though, right? That is a small thing where just missing a little tiny Suzu changed that whole kind of interaction within there though. So now right here, I definitely, when you TP'd and you kind of didn't make it up all the way, I would have liked you to probably just keep going right here, so you can just keep wall climbing up. And where? No, Matt died. No, well, I mean, he lost mech. Let me look at this one more time, because I know, I think... Do you see the monkey is kind of the main question. Yeah, I mean, not much you can realistically do there. Unless you can call out Vic to stay with you. Rob gets 2 though.
We've got this.
Oh, whoa, whoops. Alright. TPN. Yeah, just make sure we're not standing too still. You know, they still have that Widow there. And Widow doesn't have to be good. Just has to be lucky. I like this though, that we're not stationary, just, you know, planting our feet in the ground over there. We're moving around a little bit. Oh yeah, be careful with that Widow. Position here was a little aggressive. Yeah. Yeah, when you were up top, she was behind you. Definitely could have gotten that Suzu there just a little bit earlier onto Matt. It's kind of like a a Zen ult though sometimes, where it's like oh, this is an okay spot to use it, but maybe I need to wait for like a really good spot to use it. But that one to keep Brandon alive that one was good.
Draw strength from nature.
We're good. I would say yeah. Let's get in the action a little bit here. Okay, yeah. Making sure we're communicating right there that, because ideally we don't want you to touch point to be the one. Most people were walking back there though, so kind of where your position was, where I have to touch, I can, but if I don't have to, I'm still in a safe spot from the monkey. I mean, interesting choice there, I guess, for the rush. Not the worst idea though. It kind of helps hold your high ground. I think it teleported to the diva, but also right in front of you there too. That's just really tough one right there. Ooh, that was, well, Matt got it though, I guess so. Yeah, nothing you can do there. You don't have Suzu. Like, good positioning right there. We're not swinging out too wide. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, honestly, nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy from your point of view there. I feel like that was really fast. Let's go through another one. Let's see. You weren't in for pre-so. I think Servasa you rolled out as Ana. I don't know how long you stayed on her though. Do you want to take a look at that one, or like I said, I know you roll out on King's Row. Rialto, you didn't roll out on Ana, but you could have swapped to her at any point. I don't really know. Servasa was only 8 minutes long though, so probably not worth our time there. I would say let's do either. Yeah, you want to do Rialto or King's Row? Okay. I know earlier I said you roll out on the Juno here. I would without. I mean, speed is useful in a lot of instances. Even if we're not an aggressive team, it is useful to still just kind of maneuver things and people around. But on Rialto, I definitely think we can, depending on what we've been seeing from like the other team. I think rolling out on, I think just kind of, let's have like the Ana as like our default, like defense support, and then from there, if we come into the match and they're running, I don't know, if we're looking to run like rush down or something, we want to be on like Moria or something like that, then we can, a pivot or, something up there. But I think the Ana is just a really, really good, the way you normally position with her all the way at the end of the first point is always just an excellent kind of jack of all trades sort of deal. But alright, anyway, so I'm gonna sit here fucking talking. So, alright, so we're on the Juno, kind of just messing around. Okay. Alright, so they come in. Yeah, probably could have used speed there a little bit, to make sure, like when they engage, like we could have used speed, so we had a little bit extra maneuverability. Yeah, so yeah, like right there, even though they weren't in, it gave us just a little bit more flexibility to move things around. That's a really good focus fire. Oh, so yeah, right here. I'm not okay, yeah, okay. I'll say right there. And that. Oh, sorry, I should pause it as I'm talking about this. That's kind of like a good example where, like, you went in to play aggressive. We had to pick on the Hammond. They were all decently low, even though Matt was half, I think. We still could have easily pushed in with everybody, and definitely could have gotten some there. But so that's where, like, the speed, we're not getting all of the value, and that one isn't even just a speed question. So keeping things going around. Ooh, do you get? Yeah, jumped up a little bit too high. Jumped a little bit too high. Well, yeah, he did. But I think you ended up I think you were floating down as well. Yeah, you were inclined to. So like he booped you up higher, but then instead of coming straight down, you kind of like floated back, and then landed on the roof, and it kind of kept you sliding very, very slowly. So I would just drop down instantly. But alright, we should be backing out here hopefully. Yeah, and then yeah, back all. Okay, I say in that instance, just making sure that we're not feeding. Like if Matt right there, they didn't push and try and DMAC him, but it's always a really, really close call where if we're healing them as we're trying to reset and then they die anyway, all we did was just feed the other team and just stall for kind of nothing. That was a good job focusing. I will always say, if supports pocket supports, we can figure the other stuff out bare minimum. So that was a good job. Alright, so this is a 10 ultimate fight. This will be interesting to see how this goes. I think personally, I'd probably like the initiating with your ult, and then using tower pause real quick, and using Kiriko ult as a response to like something that they push in. But I could see either or. 10 ult fights are just they're always gonna be really fucking messy to get away with. So I like here though how you're jumping and using your range and mobility to not just be all stacked up, because the easy examples when we go against a queen, we tend to just like stay all grouped up. Obviously they don't have a queen, but it's really easy to just get into that. Oh, I see my team here, I'm just gonna stand with them. So just keep yourself separate a little bit. It's never gonna be a bad thing. Excuse me. They're in Freya ult though, so I'm curious. It wouldn't make sense to go for you with it, but maybe they do. Yeah, that's actually a really good example, because the ball pushing in on you didn't get any value on like displacing you because he wasn't there. Was that our? No, that was their rush. Okay. Yeah, I like using your array here. We're definitely not taking advantage of it though. Matt pushed in really deep, and well, Rob was already dead. And then Brennan gets Dragon Bladed. Yeah, it's when it is a 10 ult fight, someone's gonna have to use something first, and whoever uses it first is going to be does have the initial gumption and like has the initiation and like knows what's coming first. But with so many responses, it's never going to be like, all right, if I do this, we win fight. So I like where you did use it though. Excuse me. Where you did use though wasn't bad because they had burned stuff to come in, and I believe your ult was second because they used the Freya ult, and then I think you and Kiri kind of did yours at the same time, and then their Dragon Blade was like kind of right there with it. So you went kind of as early as you really could. That's the toughest thing when you're playing against the Wrecking Ball, is that he can control when he comes in a lot easier than many of the other tanks. So you do have to be a little bit patient and just find your good spots. So, alright, make sure we're backing out. Yep. Okay. In Freya, not Freya. Juno here is one of those heroes where it's not as impactful in the same sense as like the Ana, you know, with the antis and the sleeps, and even, but she does like a lot of things kind of constantly and continuously keeps the flow going in that. So I like you playing back here. Range doesn't matter. Okay, good. Now we're going in with rush. Yep, going with speed. Good, good, good. Yeah, you probably could have swung to the right there, or even, I think as a team we could have pushed in, because we had them on the back foot, right? Even though we used rush, and then they backed out, so we wouldn't have been able to engage while we're in rush. I think we should take advantage of the space, but that's a team thing. Because I liked where you were at, because we don't want to ever have you leading the charge. Right, a couple times with your missiles, you're holding them to get like max value out of it. You know, if we're using them and we get 2 people critical, just like go ahead and just like pop it right there. You know, if you don't get everybody, you don't get everybody. Yeah, I like that. Like right there. The timing right. Yeah, right. Like this is a good instance where, as soon as you get your ult, you're popping it. The timing just isn't good. Not because of your fault, but like, we use it and then they instantly are popping Dragon Blade at the exact same time. So the timing's kind of just really unfortunate. Yeah, I don't know how this fight's gonna play out, but you're probably gonna get targeted, I would guess. Okay, no, you are not gonna get targeted. I kind of like though how you pushed in, because it's like what's the bigger threat, the Dragon Blade or just the kind of the people that are on point not doing much? Well, I mean that they're not in ult gonna kill you there. So I like that you kind of pushed in, and then on top of that you have the payload to give yourself some more vertical mobility. Or if the Genji was coming from the left side, you could come, you know, over to these boxes and use these for some extra little bit of mobility right there. So keeping this moving now. Still playing back though, which is good. And pocketing the shit out of Matt, which makes sense because they are putting a lot of damage into him. Yeah, and so yeah, right there, that's a good instance. Like, it looked like you were getting ready to hold it for Matt, but you would have been holding it forever, so you just went ahead and used it for a Zenith, which is perfect. Just keep it going. Yeah, right there, that was another good one where we could have waited to hold it if you wanted to try and get damage in, but we were gonna get heals off. Just pop it. You know, we'll get the cooldown back. Now that one I actually do like waiting because we're not in any immediate. Sorry, I should pause it before I keep talking. We're not in any immediate like, oh my gosh, I have to pop these to kill something, or I have to pop these to heal something, or whatever it is. So, Well, that's a team thing. We don't need that here. All right, so looking. All right, yeah, that was good. You pushed in. You kind of just like you did with the Dragon Blade there. Like you kind of put yourself in a not a great spot from like a neutral standpoint, but it got you out of the threat of their wrecking. Oh, I'm sorry, their diva pushing the back line, which is a little kind of strange to think about. But the diva is kind of the biggest individual threat, I would say. Just like the Ana, actually, I'm plus. Just like the Ana, the Ana Nano on Gibraltar, where we were like 88, and it's like, hey, let's just call it a habit. Same sort of deal. Like we're at 85, or we were probably at 80. You know, see if we can poke just a little bit more. See if we can build it up at like kind of as fast as we can. The reason it's just harder though is because being on defense, obviously they can just initiate whenever they want to, and we have to kind of sit back. There's not much room we can really gain from it. So we still have bomb. No, I should say it like that. We have bomb. Bomb's not great from a kind of fight win thing. And if we look at like their ult charge, they're gonna have, you know, they're coming over rush. They have Freya ult. Even their bomb and Genji Blade is not that far away. So we gotta try and win with just yours and bomb. But yeah, kind of. Yeah. So here, like that distancing yourself. Yeah, that was actually a really good neutral fight win from you guys. And then yeah, now we have our ult here. So depending on how much we are ult tracking, we should definitely know that they have more than us. I wouldn't hate, and this is probably more of a team thing, I wouldn't hate holding up closer. Like this, so where we're kind of positioned here, and I'll make it fast because it's a team thing, where we're kind of positioned here is more passive, like, hey, we need to hold for time, versus like if we pushed up, we can say, alright, we only need one fight win, so let's get out there and use our, you know, use your ult or whatever ults we have to like get the fight and ball rolling like immediately. I would say yeah, right on the edge. Definitely, probably could have used it a little bit earlier, but we got it in there close to being first. Ooh, staying alive. Ah, you got picked off right there. Yeah. Staying alive as much as you can right there. I'd maybe try and get a little bit closer to the pillar. Oh, never mind. You guys win this. Nice map. Try and get maybe a little bit closer to the pillar. But overall, I liked your positioning. How you're using the flexibility of Juno, like kind of moving in and out. Because a lot of times, you know, playing Ana, you know, you're just kind of holding one spot pretty concrete most of the time. But that Juno, you have that maneuverability and that flexibility and that, so take advantage of that. That was really good. And like I said earlier, she's not a high impact of, all right, I'm gonna hit this sleep dart or hit this perfect anti. She's, you know, Juno's more of just that kind of constant APM. Like, all right, we're just gonna keep just always doing something with her.
What did I say about teamwork?
Teamwork gets you out alive.
Dude, my throat is so dry.
Makes me dead inside.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Alright, still rolling out with this. Yep, just gonna pocket bat a little bit. Yeah, just kind of hanging back so far, nothing too crazy. I would say let's make sure if Brandon's gonna push, actually not even Brandon, if one of our DPS is gonna push up to that spot, I would like to either have you or either you, one of our supports, because I don't know who you're going to be with. So I'd like to have one of our supports at least look up there. So whether that wants to be you or a Zenith, you know, whoever wants to communicate within there, like just because you don't even have to be up there with him. Both of you can be, or it's probably easier for yeah, it's definitely easier for you. You could be up here and getting heals off, but I just want somebody up there so he can, even if the other team doesn't kill him, you know, even if they're just peppering him, it's going to be inconvenient and difficult for him to hold it. So yeah, just be a little bit more careful. We swung kind of wide there. The Ash could have picked us off if we weren't cautious. And here, yeah, definitely a good job pushing past that Sig Shield. Like the safe play would have probably been to stay, you know, closer behind it. But then obviously you're not getting any value from your little missile things. So I like pushing through it. That was actually really good. I don't know if someone called it out or you just, you know, realized that you were getting shot there, but you turned, you know, peppered her once or twice. Brandon comes in, and in theory has the advantage because you got a little bit of shots in on her, but then you immediately kind of turned back. You immediately turned back around to the front, which can be, sometimes it can be difficult to just like have the knowledge that somebody's flanking you, but you're not doing anything about it. Yeah, I would say make sure we're in there. Oh, okay, I would say careful with them. Alright, definitely right here, just waiting for the window to go down, and then we should be pushing in. Ooh, yeah, I mean, I definitely would not have swung out that hard there. That was, that was ambitious. Alright, we're on time. Yeah, I mean, it does heal, but it's not a miracle worker. Yeah, definitely just, I like the ult. The ult is good, the ult is fine. Actually, I can pause it real quick. So, I like using the ult there. The only other way, if you wanted to like angle it kind of this way, or kind of overly safe, you could have like put it towards this direction. I don't like this direction, but that's another choice you could have. You can. Yeah. What? Now I would say. Yeah, I would say those are actually, those three are like a perfect encapsulation of like your three choices. Like you have aggressive front, diagonal is that middle ground, and then towards the staircase is overly safe. So, and it's not that I don't like the aggressive one. I like that one. We just want to be in communication to make sure that, you know, Matt is the one swinging out first, or, you know, maybe May if we have one. But something who can take a little bit more damage than you. Yeah. And then we're staying in this fight though. Okay, so we're staying in this fight. Okay. Yeah, that's another good example. Just getting the missiles out, kind of ASAP. Yeah, there we go. That was good from you. We can't have you on the point there either. Rob and Brandon are going to clean up or not.
Hello.
And needing you alive to kind of pressure. Alright, here, this is a little bit more team related, but we need to get up on this high ground. Alright, Matt's getting up there, good. Between Kiri and Juno, both of you guys can jump off the payload here relatively easily. So it's not just like, you know, like an Ana would have to take time, so we'd want to send her up there first because she can't just immediately jump up there. But between you and Kiriko, we could have leaved either one of you on the point, excuse me, and pushed up onto that high ground there. Careful how much you push up right here, because you're really out in the open. I'm actually gonna peel away from you just to show like how far out in the open you are. Eventually. There we go. Yeah, like it, and obviously they aren't looking at you, but man, you are wide out in the open there. So I would be very, very careful, because you could have gotten, I think you could have got a, yeah, you could have gotten height up here to get Brandon, or if they're gonna, I don't even think they're looking. No, that'd be way too greedy. That'd be way too greedy. And remember what I said too. I don't want our supports killing themselves to get like heals onto somebody. Yeah, he probably would have been fine. I don't know what cooldowns he had, and I don't really want to go back and look at all his cooldowns, to be honest. So, he probably would have been fine. What we could have done is just, if you wanted to communicate, and just like ask the Senate to heal you as you're healing him with something. And it's just because you're floating just so wide out in the open. And actually, that Freya dying is an example of what could happen. Now, Horrors was like an even more extreme example, because she was literally like stuck on the roof right there. So that's like the even worst case scenario. But it follows along the same idea, where just out in the open. So like you could have, like if you're looking to get that aggressive with it, I should have just paused it so I kept talking. You know, have a sentence look to heal you. Ask Brandon if he needs you to heal him, or if he has cooldown to get back to that mega, or you know, if Matt can DM or whatever it is. I just didn't like how I don't want you to be the one that's out in the open. Excuse me. Ooh, that was close. Yeah, right here definitely should be. I wouldn't have. I'd be cautious how far back you swung, and like I know we were kind of backing up from the window, but being stuck on this bridge is never a good spot for us to do. What is that face for? Sorry, I was listening. Yeah, I mean, it does offer you more cover. Since we have Matt, and since we have that like group of three though, that we're still holding tight to the building, then you know, it's safer for you to go there. And because you also have this whole back room too. Like if you're kind of backing up this way, and if you're feeling like really like nervous about where they're at, then you can kind of go in here, or even the stairs a little bit. But being on the bridge, like the railing cover makes sense, but it also just, and we can see here, it just exposes us completely to like every piece of high ground up there. Versus if we're tied up against that wall, then they can still get to us, but it's much harder. Now that doesn't look like they're pushing out on you guys anyway, so you're fine, and you're okay. Yeah, so actually that's a perfect example of what even though that she wasn't shooting at you, but I mean, she realistically should have been because how exposed you were. That's kind of the example where that high ground it's just so oppressive if we don't have anything contesting it, and they're sitting up there for free. Now they aren't sitting up there for free besides Freya, so it's a little bit kind of moot point. But like you did earlier, though, I like that we kind of peppered her and kind of turned back. And I'm not sure if you're going to keep kind of peeking on her to keep her at bay, or if you're going to just kind of, you know, kind of or try and get to our Kiriko rush. And where kind of, I would say, and yeah, I hope we push up here, particularly because it definitely looks like Matt wants to swing around the corner, and we definitely need to be in a position to help with that. Ah, okay, so yeah, actually, I want to watch that. I want to watch that from the Freya perspective because I just want to show you like how easy it is to hit somebody that's just floating in midair. So yeah, that, and if again you being pushed up against the building doesn't automatically mean you're not gonna get killed there, but also don't run into the wall. Oh, sorry. I can't believe they're contesting this stuff. Alright. But we disengage from Bob, fine. That's more of a Rob point. I say if Rob can get in on his face with full health, he can just kind of burn Bob pretty quickly, but alright. Ooh, thank you. I was saying, make sure we grab that mega. Ooh, yeah, so just like earlier, we don't want you to be the one leading the charge here. Ooh. Well, honestly, I don't think it's just that though. I think it's that you're used to in comp, you can make that swing, and I'll pause real quick. And I don't want to assume anything for you, but in comp, you can make that swing, and you're going to be safe majority of the time because nobody listens to calls out. Nobody listens to call outs. But in a team environment, people are going to hear people, even if it's a bad team, they're going to hear certain things, and always react to them, right? Like a Dragon Blade, everybody's going to react to a Dragon Blade. Everybody's going to react to a Junk Tire. Orbital Ray is kind of one of those, like, in a team environment, everybody's going to react to it because it's such a good ultimate. You don't end up dying though, so that's good. More of a team sort of thing where we invested all of that and we didn't win the fight. It's a little bit rough. So yeah, then we lose Matt. So we definitely should just at this point definitely needs to stop healing Rob. Rob needs to just reset. Like just jump off the map. Somehow he gets out. Okay, no, he doesn't get out. Yeah, and this kind of, I know I've talked about it before, but when we're resetting, it's a tight line, but and Rialto is just so easy though to jump off the map. We need to just be jumping off the map, because now here we'll get a good enough recontest, a decent one timing wise, but we fed them more ultimate charge. And again, that's also a team thing. That's not just you. Good reaction time there. All right, so we get the recontest here, and we're swinging out really aggressive. We have, we're coming up on overclock. Again, depending on what we're ult tracking from them, I'd probably want you to play on the safe side. Let's make sure we're pocketing our win condition. In this case, it is trying to get that overclock up. Well, let's see what happens here. Okay, yeah, and as soon as you see that window, making sure we're swinging out of view of it, because it doesn't take much to kill you there. I think you missed a couple shots there. I don't think it really matters. I think Ascendance was gonna die there no matter what, so not much we can do what's in there. We did get our rush down here, So again, this like our positioning here. Liked our positioning there. We were able to, if they pushed in hard on Matt, we could have kept eyes on him. If they pushed in on Brandon, in that instance, they did both. So we can't heal everybody. And so I like your choice on the Brandon though, because then if he can win, again, he's that win condition. If we can keep him up, maybe we get overclocked. Maybe he can pop off and get a bunch of kills. So I like that there. Yeah, I say at this point with Bob on the point, there's not much we can do. Yeah, and kind of like I've been saying, Juno's just there are plays that you can make, but she's really a like director hero where, all right, I'm going to direct the team into doing this. I'm going to direct. I'm hitting these missiles for everybody to go in with or come out with. My speed is leading us in, repositioning us, and even her healing. She has good healing, but she's not. She doesn't have anything that's just absolutely insane and crazy in that. But honestly, not a lot of good things. Nothing that really stuck out to me. Besides, definitely would have liked to take the high ground a little bit more. Definitely a team thing though, because you can't take it by yourself. We can't just expect Juno to go contest high ground by herself anywhere. On defense, like I said, I think you just default onto the Ana. She's just so flexible, and the way you play her in the back like that just gives us such good maneuverability and flexibility. Unless we're trying something specific because of what we're seeing from them. Ana's just always going to be a good one. And you can kind of do the same thing on King's Row a little bit. Yeah, and that's adjusting to what they were showing you, and they came out on the wrecking ball, so it's a good call that they were more than likely going to go on a dive thing right there. So yeah, I'm going to call it there because it's 12 and I don't want to do another one. So